Hi, welcome back. Got a Streamlight product for you today. Streamlight, if you don't know, make really decent flashlights among other things. I've been using their flashlights for quite a few years now. Been very, very happy with the brand. I carry one of their tack flashlights in the car, and I also carry one of their pen style flashlights on my person, usually in my small pocket on my trousers. So I've got 3 different products I'm going to show you this week. The first of which I've been talking about for a while now, is the Streamlight Wedge. Finally got hold of one. This is the Wedge XT. So we're going to go through some of the details on that. I'm going to give you my opinions, and then hopefully in the next couple of weeks I will be bringing you the battle of the wedges. We'll do Streamlight versus Surefire versus Olight, and we'll take a good look at all 3 and see which one offers, you know, best performance versus best value for money, all that kind of stuff. So let's get into the Streamlight Wedge XT. As you can see, it's a really small form factor, which I like, and of course it is this wedge shape which fits in the pocket really nicely. As you can see, we've got a very deep carry pocket clip at the back there, nicely machined, and it also comes with that little Streamlight lanyard. You have on the side a USB recharging port, and it does come with the charging cable. One thing I do like about the Streamlight products, they take their quality very seriously, they take their testing very seriously. This comes with IPX7 rating, so it will go down to 1 meter of water. As long as you fish it out pretty rapid, it should still be good to go. And it also passes the 1 meter drop test. So again, if you accidentally drop this onto a hard floor, should be good to go after the fact. It comes with a limited lifetime warranty. So as long as you haven't surpassed any of those expectations and thrown it out of a window or run it over or something, as long as you're the original owner of this, then it does have that lifetime warranty with it. If you were to sell it on, because it's a limited lifetime warranty, obviously then the next person wouldn't have that option. And I think the bulb and the batteries are excluded from the warranty, as is pretty normal with a flashlight. You wouldn't expect them to warranty those items. They're considered to be consumables. So this is a maximum of 500 lumens. And then on the low setting, 50 lumens. You've got about 2 hours of runtime on the max setting and about 11 hours of runtime on the minimum setting at 50 lumens. And considering its size and weight, that is pretty damn good. And this is surprisingly snug in the hand. Very, very light for what it is. I'm pretty sure it may have the others beat in terms of size and weight. We'll have to wait for the comparison review, but yeah, really nice ergonomics, really nice size. It's got beveled edges on there, so there's nothing on it that's unpleasant or hard. It's just got a little bit of knurling here, obviously, so you can put your thumb on. A slightly more extreme curve on that side, so it's kind of like a little thumb rest on there. And then as we can see on the base, it's got that tail switch. Now the part I really like about this is its simplicity. I've had some flashlights before, I've tested quite a few, and they are all kinds of complexity in terms of what you have to remember. Some of them have got like 10 different modes. You have to press the button multiple times to go through all these modes. And a lot of the time people want a low power and a high power. That's probably 99.9% of people that use flashlights, right? Most of us don't want a strobe setting on a light like this. Most of us don't want any sort of mediocre beams, etc. We're quite happy with low and we're quite happy with high. We're not too bothered about 5 settings in the middle of that. So for me, Streamlight have really got that spot on. That fits my use absolutely. You know, I either want to use this in a situation where I'm kind of searching for something in an enclosed area, then I'm going to use the low beam, or maybe I'm in a tent or something like that and I don't need a high beam in there, so I'm just going to use the low beam to see what I'm doing. And then if I'm outside, I'm probably going to be using the high beam to get a look at something from a distance away. The high beam, interestingly, on this is rated up to 87 meters. I'll take a look outside in a minute because I can shine this in the backyard here and we can take a quick look and see exactly how far it goes. On the low setting, this is giving about 28 meters according to instructions. So back to the simplicity, which I really like. You have one button, the tail switch, which again is a plus for me. You know, I've had other things that have had a tail switch. They've had two different switches on the torch body, and you get to the point where there's just too much going on, and you can lock this tail switch out, which I'll get to in a second. So first and most simply, to turn it on, it's just a quick switch on and a quick switch off. If you want the low beam setting, 1, 2, you're into low beam, and you can switch it off with a single switch. So 1 for high and off, 2 for low and off. That's it. If you want to hold it down in a sort of tactical application, so you're just putting it on temporarily, holding it like that, we can just hit that, and if we hold it on, then as I drop it off, the torch drops off. So if you don't just tap it once, it will stay on in this setting here and go off when you take your finger off it. If I double tap it, it will go low. Same thing, I can hold it on, and then as soon as I take my thumb off, it goes off again. So very, very easy to understand the operation. You know, I literally looked at how to operate it. I got that in a heartbeat. Some of the others that I've got, I still don't know how to get to, you know, the red flashing strobe mode or whatever crazy modes that they have on offer. So the only other things to remember with this is it has a lockout function. So if you want to set that so you don't accidentally set it off for any reason, you can hit that 5 times, and on the 5th time we're going to hold it down, and you can see on here every time we press that there's a little green light just showing there. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and hold it down, then we get a flash. You see that light had flashed, and also the main beam had flashed, and now when we hit this button, nothing happens. All that will happen is you get a glow on that charging light there, just to warn you that you're in lockout mode. So you can see nothing's happening. Now if we hit that 5 times again, holding it down on the 5th time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again the beam flashes, that light flashes, and now we're back to normal operation. So again, the lockout is very, very easy to remember. The only other thing I hear people complaining about in flashlights generally for tactical use, if you're doing something very particular with them, you might want either high beam to come on first or low beam to come on first. And it's understandable, not everyone wants high beam to come straight on, because that could kind of blind people around you. So you might want to start it off with a low beam and then only select high if you really need it. And vice versa, you might be in a tactical situation where you really, really want to start off with high beam. If you were going to use this to disorientate someone who was running up to you and looked like they were going to do you some harm, you'd obviously want to start with a high beam. If you want to change this, because as a default, it comes in the high beam setting as the first option, you know, when you hit that button, it's going to go high to start with. If you want to switch that round and start it with low, we're going to do exactly the same as we did for lockout, except we're going to hit it 10 times, and on the 10th time we're going to hold it down. So then it's a case of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, holding down. You can see it flashes again. So now when we start off, we're in low mode, and if we double tap, that takes us to high mode. Then we can switch over again, because I would like to start this in high mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it down. Flashes again. Now we're starting off in high mode. Double tap for low mode. It's literally as simple as that. Really, really well made. You know, I appreciate the simplicity. I don't want flashlights that do 100 different things. I just want them to be really well made flashlights that do the main functions I require them to do. And like I said before, I'm pretty sure most of the guys that are going to buy these, guys and girls, are wanting the same thing. It's that simplicity of use. There's no point in having loads and loads of modes on the flashlight if you don't even know how to access them. And more concerning, if you've got so many things it can do that it actually hinders you from the most basic of functions. To me, that's kind of a waste of time. As you can see, fits nicely into the pocket. Very, very comfortable, deep carry, easy out, nice and light. And the whole point of that is that it sits snugly up against your leg. It's not cutting into you or pressing against you. It's not at all a pain to carry. It's very, very EDC friendly. To charge this up, it's simply a straight USB-C. Like I said, they do supply a small black cable, and then you can see the light on the back tells you it's charging. That will turn green when it's done. This came with a whole bunch of charge in it. I think it was probably about 3/4 charged when I received it. And from what I understand, they don't take very long at all to charge. Now, the other thing that little light will do will tell you when this needs a charge. So when you turn it on, you can see there's a green light there that will illuminate for a few seconds. That tells you there's plenty of battery in there, and that will run no problem at all. If you do that and that shows red, that means the battery is starting to run low, and you will also notice the beam starts to run down as well. But as soon as that red light starts illuminating, you need to get this on charge via USB. I much prefer USB these days to batteries, just because batteries cost an absolute fortune, and a lot of the old torches run on like the CR123s, which are very, very difficult to find sometimes. You know, if you live with a great big supermarket somewhere near you, that's fine. But if you've got a tiny corner shop or you live in the middle of nowhere like I do, then finding the CR123s is not the easiest of things to do. So this suits me just fine. Perfect size, perfect shape. I really, really like this. I think form factor wise, it's probably my favourite so far, just because it's so pocketable, it's so light, and it's still really, really well made. The housing, I'm guessing, is aircraft grade aluminium. That's what it certainly looks and feels like. It's definitely metallic and very, very robust indeed. And like I said, very nicely machined. No rough spots, no hot spots on there, and just that jimping. When it comes to replacement bulb, again, we'd be looking at undoing these 4 screws here with the supplied Allen, and then I'm guessing you would just buy a new bulb off of Streamlight. So let's take a look at this in action. When we do the comparison, we'll take a look at them all, see which one's, you know, shining the brightest over the distance, and then we'll compare the low beams as well. One thing to note with this, it throws a very, very nice soft edged beam. You know, sometimes you can get a really, really harsh beam out of a flashlight with very defined edges, very contrasty. This is quite pleasant, very soft, easy on the eye. That might sound strange to say that, but when you're using things in the 500 plus lumen bracket, if they're really contrasty and really harsh, they can actually start creating a bit of havoc with your eyesight. And this one, I haven't had that issue. You know, like I said, the edges of the beam kind of smooth into the background, so it's just a little bit less harsh on the eyes, a little bit easier to look at, and I actually found it more useful in that manner. I hope you find that useful. Check these out. I'll chuck a link up for Streamlight. Hopefully I will have also a link to anywhere that sells them in the UK, and maybe an Amazon link for the US guys. These are going to retail in the US around $80 to $90, and it's going to be around the same in pounds in the UK as is per normal. the US guys always get a little bit of a discount compared to us over here in the UK. But I would say in the grand scheme of things, and in comparison to some of the other models out there that you would buy as an EDC option, that's what you would expect for a quality flashlight. In fact, probably a bit cheaper than what you would expect. I would imagine if I was looking for a quality EDC flashlight, I would be looking at around the £120 mark, and this is considerably cheaper than that. So check it out. Love the form factor. Streamlight, you've done what you usually do, knocked it out of the park with this one. So let's take a look at the comparison in the next few weeks when I chuck the video up and see how it performs against the others. Thanks for watching. Take care. Catch you later.